funny.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to InfiniteRP and episode 26 of the Lost City of Vedranis. Hope you're all doing well. Derek, you son of a bitch.
What's going on with everyone's composure? I'm so confused.
Yeah, me too. What happened?
Surprising.
It's like a bomb dropped.
And if anyone's wondering why you can see my roll for Lady Lure's spell attack, that's me just testing to make sure my dice worked. Or I was trying to.
What spell was that? Like when you imagined it? What spell?
Let's just say that it was trying to resist whatever spell Derek just tried to cast right before we went live. In which case, I don't think I passed.
I don't know. It's called counter, Derek, and it did not succeed.
Be charmed now. I don't know.
There's a lot of words that you could use for what just happened. But anyway, hope everybody's been doing well. Let's go around and see what the cast has been up to. Ray, let's start with you this week. How have you been? What have you been up to?
Oh, I've been just diddly dandy. I've just been doing great. I've got some cool things that I'm working on. I get to run my first game session as a DM in what seems like, I think it's been well over a year at this point. So I'm excited for that. Been working on a spooky tale for everybody. But besides that, just role playing. I've been doing a lot of GTA roleplay in the 70s. So if that seems to be interesting for anybody, we can talk about that later. But no, it's been good. It's been a really great week. And I'm super stoked to be back to deal with the big bad daddy vamp that we got to discuss things with.
I've never heard him refer to that.
Big bad daddy vamp.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, exactly.
Can we get the title of the episode changed, please? I think we'll
Big Bad Daddy Vamp.
Big bad daddy vamp. Yeah.
Big Bad Daddy Vamp.
Amazing. Justin, how have you been?
Good. It's so weird. Like this crew, like at 6:30, which is when my time, 7:30 Eastern, like when we show up to get ready, you know, I was just like, and it's crazy how between then and now I've turned completely around. And like I'm just happy to be here, and a lot of that has to do with Derek being incredibly inappropriate, but it's really just I'm doing great. Week is good. Still playing a lot of Wild. Jonah Harper, who is now sheriff of Rhodes, and all that, and just loving the crew that we have there in Rhodes. A lot of fun. We'll talk more about that some other time. But I am pumped up to meet this vampire who, assuming that I don't know who this is in character, I'm just going to assume is a nice, normal guy.
I mean, obviously, the most infamous vampire in all of the D&D world is an extremely kind and generous person.
I like to think misunderstood.
That too.
Yep.
Very misunderstood. I think that's like the whole premise of his character. Anyway. Danae, how have you been? Our special guest star for a few weeks. How are you?
Good. I'm really excited to be back at the D&D table. This has been a really fun re-immersion into Dungeons and Dragons. I took like 4 months off when I lost my creative brain in the world of RP, which like when I went into Wild RP server, it's like everything disappeared. I forgot to eat, drink, sleep. So to take a 3-week hiatus from my normal kind of outlet and to have D&D on the table again has been really, really fun. I've been so looking forward to tonight. My biggest fear is accidentally slipping into a character voice from the server instead of Lure's voice. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I've had a really fun week and I'm looking forward to seeing what we do tonight.
I'm excited. I have like a very, very rough outline. It depends on like week to week. Sometimes I'll be very prepared, and then other weeks I'll just be like, we're just gonna wing it. It's kind of a mixture of that because I'm like, I don't know what you guys are gonna do. So we'll find out. It's very exciting.
You never know. It's a choose your own adventure.
Yep. Turn to page 394.
It's the Yeti. Sorry. Oh, fell off a cliff.
Yep. Oh. Restart the book. Derek, how have you been, my friend?
Ooh, I've been peachy keen, my friend. The same old but new stuff, actually. I recently went back into Photoshop and decided to screw around in that. So like I made like 15 emotes for the stream because I figured out how to make those. So that's been a bunch of fun. And being a mischievous little mining moogle in Wild RP, I have caused so much. There's something about role playing, and a DM like Lacuna and the caliber of this people, as well as the others who play D&D, we all understand being a quest giver. It pays off when you're a quest giver to other role players.
Mhm.
And I must say, it is a very gratifying thing to happen with inside of role play. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun playing as Zhang Wei on Wild RP, and that's what I've been up to. Mostly role play, Photoshop, lots of clicking, lots of Chinese that I've been trying to learn. Mandarin is a son of a bitch, but it's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Chinese would be like isn't it one of the most difficult languages? Like
It
Not for
is.
Chinese people.
Well,
yeah.
thank you. But no, yes, it is very difficult because it's tonal. It's not like English or like Japanese and whatnot, where like you can just speak it and you don't have to put emphasis or emotion behind it to like really sell it. Like they have the word "ma," and you can say it 5 different ways, and it means all different things.
I mean, 6 different things.
Ma. Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. Anyway, it's cool as shit though, but it's difficult.
That's awesome. That's so much fun.
Indeed.
5 different ways means 12 different things.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm.
Well, without any further
Oh.
What?
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing good. I've just been doing. What have I been doing? I've been working. Really, I've been. I started my new job a few weeks ago, and I actually am really
Mute.
enjoying it.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
I'll just mute. I haven't really been doing any Wild RP or any other roleplay other than this. I had a realization. I think I told some of you the other day. So we're 26 episodes into this thing. We've been playing since March, right? March or April. Like we've been playing for like 6+ months.
Yeah.
And as the story's progressed, I am just barely kind of seeing the direction of the campaign and the story. And so it's been really fun to kind of delve into kind of what could and might happen in this game. So that's what I've been doing. And just kind of just doing me, just hanging out. So I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
It's important.
It is.
It's important to check in with your DM. Hey, everyone, remember,
DMs are people too.
check in with your DM.
DMs are people too.
We
Agreed.
don't want to just kill your PCs.
They are teeple poo.
What?
Yep.
Yep.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
You can hear my
What?
cat in the background too. So.
Yeah.
It was a spoonerism for people too. They're teeple poo.
Okay.
I did. Sorry.
All
My
right.
mind hurts. I'm like,
do you never do that ever, like on accident, where you flip around the first letter on
I
accident?
mean, I've done it. No, I've definitely done it. Like
I do it
doing
all the
like
time.
ebooks and whatnot, like long recordings. Like I've definitely like mixed
Mhm.
in words where they don't belong or say extra words, but like I just wasn't expecting it.
Well, yeah, that's part of the fun.
off guard.
Anytime you can say poo, it's even better.
Indeed. More fart jokes and poop jokes for the day. We're gonna have quotas, damn it.
That's right.
But let's direct them towards Strahd.
Indeed.
Because that will go swimmingly.
One
I'm
fart
not
and
put
poop
together.
joke for each one of us. We have to hit the quota today.
Amazing. All righty. Well, without any further ado, let us get into tonight's super awesome episode of the Lost City of Vedranis. Last we left off, the party of 3, Marcoris, Wisp, and Nock, had just left a Gateway of Valoon, which is a chapel dedicated to Valoon, your recently passed cleric Vodder's deity. You were able to lay him to rest and finally get some closure and some peace with being able to do that. And you guys continued your way towards the Hanging Gardens, an area which you guys had been told to seek out a character named Lady Lore and the plant loreweed to help create some sort of medicine or tea or salve that will help Wisp and Nock get rid of their warp maladies and their disease that they currently have. You guys traveled for some days and finally made it. And kind of what we saw was kind of what was described as a once kind of park or nature area for the people of Vedranis to spend time in, that has turned into a bog and a swamp. It has sunken in and downward into the city and seems to be growing. You guys continued in, seeing a long dead Kyrogen that seemed to have been attacked by maybe some of the plant life there. You guys came across some crows, the birds that protect the citizens of Vedranis that are trapped in the plants and the vines around. Upon investigating, Marcoris sent the imp known as Jiraxius, Devourer of Hope, to check out one of these crows, and was attacked by some of the plant life there, but was let go unknowingly by Lady Lore herself as she tried to hide from you, but you guys were able to catch her scent and her tracks. And upon seeing Lady Lore, this tall, menacing figure turned out to be not so tall and menacing, but a very short humanoid, and the person that you've been seeking this whole time. You ran, and she led you through the swamps towards her home, where Marcoris, you noticed that she ran past a Warforged, a creature and a creation from your homeworld of Eberron, and it was also revealed that Lady Lore herself is from Eberron, a different world, a different plane of existence, if you will, entirely different from Vedranis. You guys made your way to Lore's home, in which it was a giant willow tree on this solitary island around this kind of bog. And upon entering, Nock really kind of struggled. Wisp had to cast a levitate spell on him for him to get across the water, because he couldn't fit in the little burrows that Lady Lore uses to get a gnome into her home.
Oh boy.
You were met with a interesting sight of mounds and shells full of loreweed, something that has eluded you for so long now, and to see it in such abundance was quite something. You guys were able to drink the tea that Lady Lore brews herself, bathe in a pool that she uses, and didn't really seem to notice that much of a difference. Knock, your tongue, your elongated tongue that allows you to speak deep speech, was still there. Wisp, your eyes, your multiple sets of eyes are still there as well. And upon asking Lady Lore, you were told that she might be able to help you, but there were some more ingredients that she would need, and that she knew someone who might be able to procure these, but was seemingly afraid to approach this person. Regardless, you guys spent the night and traveled to the conservatory, which this figure spends most of their time. The doors opened for you and allowed you entrance, in which you came into this greenhouse of sorts with a variety of different plant life, some of it dangerous and poisonous and aggressive in nature, until you finally came upon this figure, who, after some conversing, revealed themselves to be a count of a land called Barovia, which some of you may or may not have heard of. And this person revealed themselves as the vampire Strahd von Zarovich. And that is where we leave and start tonight. So, all of you are now presented with this figure. You now see Strahd as he's turned towards you. This figure looks handsome in a way, but they seem a little pale, a little gaunt, not quite sickly, but not quite healthy. Their clothes are just a little too loose on their skin, as they have just introduced themselves to who they are and left you with a lot of questions, maybe, as I don't know if any of you have heard of this place or this person before. Maybe Marcoris. I'm not.
Is there a way I can figure out if Marcoris is familiar with Barovia, Shadowfell, blah, 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 blah?
Yeah, I would say roll a history check for me.
Sure. I will do that, and everyone will see it on the new
Yes.
dice rolling screen. As Marcoris is going to roll history, something he is surprisingly good at. That is an 18.
18. You have definitely heard of Barovia. You've had many dissertations and kind of reports about Barovia from your time with the Emerald Claw. You definitely know, a decent amount about it. It's a very dark place. A lot of just unhappy people tend to live there, as they have been and had been subject to the rule of one Count Strahd von Zarovich, who
I'm familiar with
resided.
him as well.
You've heard reports about him, and you know about his home as well. Castle Ravenloft is where he usually lorded over his domain.
So, instead of, maybe in lieu of filling everybody else on this in on it, of course, just sort of like, there's that beat, which lasted a week for us, but just maybe a few seconds in game. And Marcoris is just like, you gotta be kidding me. You're the Strahd von Zarovich? From Barovia? From Ravenloft?
He looks a little bit flattered, just a little bit, but then he just says,
Marcoris approaches with his hand outstretched. He says, I'm a big fan, all right? You are an effective and powerful ruler, and there's nothing I admire more than power. Sorry, I'm not trying to flatter you here. I'm not trying to, like, put a bug in your ear or nothing like that, or blow smoke up your butt, but you, sir, are, we know about you all over the multiverse.
He reaches out his hand to take it and shake your hand. Are you deceived? Are you trying to persuade or charm him? How does Marcoris actually feel? Is he being honest?
Do you want the full disclosure here?
Sure.
Marcoris is being 100% honest here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nock has a very confused look on his face. He's just like, what the hell?
Y'all, look, and like he's like in the middle of shaking Strahd's hand. He turns around to everyone. Look, Strahd, right? And then he turns around and goes, huh?
Laura's
No?
like the same. She's just kind of looking back and forth between everyone, trying to figure out if she's going to act like this is normal, but she's clearly confused. And then watching Icky, or Eris, as she calls him.
Yeah.
So-
He's just like, and then Marcoris just goes into like puppy dog mode. He's just standing there like he's meeting like a celebrity.
So you're from a different plane, and she points to Marcoris, and then she like points to Strahd, but still looking at Marcoris, and he's from a different
Right,
plane.
two different ones. Actually, and he like, while not his eyes are still on Strahd, right? He just sort of gestures towards Lure. And he's like, she and I actually we're from the same place.
What do you mean plane?
Okay.
We don't have time to explain dimensional planar theory here, okay?
As this is going on, I've kind of moved back and like towards Nock, have created a little side, and I'll just go, so I don't really understand how it works, but there's like us, and then there's like a plate, and then there's like other plates on other tables, and they all exist within the same
Very accurate.
tavern, I guess.
What? Oh, so you're
We can
telling
talk
me if I
about
have
it.
grog and I drink the grog, and I put it down on this table. Somebody else from another plate can go ahead and drink my grog.
Not exactly, no. It's more complicated than that. I don't understand it myself, but that is how somebody explained it to me once.
I don't
Maybe we
understand.
can
I've
talk
been
about
all
it
over.
later.
There are too many new things, too many new things. This damn city.
You just hear grumbling and frustration from Nock's corner.
So then she'll kind of like come back out from Knock in this like funny little aside, and she'll just kind of look at Strahd and just like,
So how did you get here?
Yeah.
It is a very unfortunate tale. My wife and I, Tatiana, we were traveling along the countryside of Barovia. As we were wont to do many times. On our last outing, the unspeakable happened. As we were on the mountainside looking down on our home, another city appeared on top of it. This one. Destroyed everything. Destroyed my home, my people, my subjects. We ventured into the city to see what it was all about and what was going on. Before we knew it, there was shooting stars flying across the sky. And the horizon of Barovia was no longer there. And so here I am.
You said that the city landed on your city. Like this one, the one that we're in now.
and then she'll look towards Marcoris.
Does that happen? Have you heard anything of that
No.
happen? Does that?
I mean, we're
is that
talking
normal?
all the plates.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the way that works. And he's like thinking back to so Warforged out there. And in Marcoris's brain, it's if Vedranis landed in Barovia, does that mean it also landed in Eberron, Shard, Carnan? Did it also land in other places?
So, what is it? A nomadic tribe, but in city form? Just dropping in where it wants to.
And all of them at the same time, maybe?
I don't. Is that even possible?
I
Didn't this city leave for a long time? Did it just stay in one place, or did it keep moving? Can it keep moving?
Your lordship, how long have you been here?
So as Lore was listening to Eris talking, and he began to tell his story, she kind of got bored. If anyone would have looked at her, she'd been like, here we go. And so she started to look around. So while everyone's been talking and assuming, she's trying to see if she can see any of the, what she calls the icky plant. So she's just kind of like looking around to see if she can spot it.
Okay. Yeah, while they're having this conversation, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Yeah, I can do that. I know how.
And Strahd looks at you, Marcourse, and says,
There's stuff to say. Time. As you know, our time eludes me. It has for centuries.
I mean, it's a trivial thing for someone like you, I imagine.
If I were to put the exact number on it, I would say 3 weeks, perhaps.
Drop in the bucket.
How so the city crushed your city and you came back with it, or?
Correct.
And you can see that, yeah, you can see the cogs moving in Wisp's head. Like she's having a hard time understanding like how this is even possible.
It seemed it had other destinations.
I made a tour, huh?
Wait, you said 3 weeks. How long have we been in Vedranis?
How long have we been in Vedranis?
let's see. The last I checked, I need to check my notes.
It's been, I thought it's been almost a month.
It's been almost a month since you last went to Hallow, and I think it was another like week.
It's been almost a week in Hollow. Like, or outside Hollow, and then we had to come back, and then we ventured out again.
Yeah, so I would say like a month and a half.
Hey.
But we've been here for a month. How is that possible if you've only been here a couple weeks? How did the city leave and come back?
And she just kind of like, you see her go from like looking at all of you to like looking at the ground and kind of internalizing the things that she's asking out loud.
I was thinking about this too difficult. Time, from what I've seen, does not exist here. I have seen many people come and go in my 3 weeks.
For example, and he kind of looks and sees Lady Lore kind of poking around a little bit.
We've become well acquainted. She has been here much longer than I have.
Lady Lure, how long have you been here?
I yes. I have some memories. She glances to Icky. And she looks to the group.
Why do you walk around every question with breaths and unnecessary words? How long have you been here?
From the beginning, maybe the middle. I don't know.
Well, how did you get here? Did the city fall on your city and then you came with it too?
She just looks back around for the plants and tilts her head, and all of her braids shift off of her shoulder, and she looks under a table. Bitty bitty.
So while the rest of the party is trying to converse with you, you're looking for this plant. You've seen it multiple times before here, but as you go to the place where you usually see it, you just see an empty pot. It's no longer there.
Okay, well, she'll scoop down to the ground and scoop up Bitty Bitty. And you guys will see her kind of, and she'll put Bitty Bitty in the pot. And she's been listening. It's kind of like a child that's sort of paying attention to the conversation and doing this all at the same time. And she'll kind of turn back and she'll like kind of like haphazardly just like, I remember the sky, the stars. I do. But we're here for the plant. Aren't we? I want
That's
my plant. Can we?
Well, I mean, Your lordship, is this plant that, our friend, you know what I just realized? Your count, she's a lady, it's kind of like we're at some sort of like royal banquet or something like that.
Laura laughs and she holds her hand out like this.
Jerry is next to Laura and does the same thing.
She'll put her hand out for Jerry to like, do the thing with.
He looks at it and doesn't do anything with it. Because Jerry is an imp, he doesn't know what he's doing. He says, now, your lordship, these plants here, I mean, the one we're looking for can help my associates, my co-workers. And he gestures at Wisp and Knock.
Knock nods forward in like a respectful nod.
Get them in a better situation. I mean, you want this city to sort of pop you out back to Barovia, I would imagine, yeah?
You would think so.
But no?
Alas, no. My city is destroyed. I know it. There's nothing but rubble and death. There is only one thing yet worth living for. My wife. Tatiana.
What was her name?
Tatiana.
Tatiana.
She currently resides in the asylum of the Kyrogen, where she is being kept for her safety at the moment. Her safety? You know who the Kyrogen are, right? Yes, and they're very aware of who I am now. If I wanted to, I could kill every single one of them without them laying a hand on my wife or raising a hand against me.
Knock, he rears back a little from that statement as like a testament to his strength as a sign of respect.
You know, the Kyrogen, who they surround themselves. They've done a lot. Do you know, the Era Cochrane, the leader of the Kyrogen?
Sigismund.
I have had brief interactions with him, yes. He was the one who took my wife and put her in the asylum.
With your consent?
Yes, she is not well. Her mind is fleeting. Is she plagued by the same thing that we have?
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Where are you, buddy?
There's a moment when he starts explaining that I think maybe Knock and Wisp, there is a bit of a realization that hits you. During your week-long stay in the asylum, you did meet a woman named Tatiana.
Yeah. I'm about to say that name sounds so fucking familiar. We did. God.
She was the woman who couldn't remember. Didn't she want us to find?
She was the one
who kept asking. She's like, "Have you seen my husband? Have you seen my husband?" And we were like, "We'll find him. We'll find him."
Mm-hmm.
That is so right.
And Vara was her friend.
Yeah, I was like, that name sounds so familiar. I'm like, who is that person? Goddamn this goddamn series going on for as long as it has in my brain.
So as he says Tatiana, I think Wisp would have a visceral reaction, and just because it was such a thing that sat with her weird. I met her. We met her. She kept asking for her husband. She's there. She is not well.
Which is why I am here.
Working on a way to heal her.
Yes. She was like that before. No, she was not.
Which is why I want to experiment some more.
These people, they're Kyrogen. They're people of many secrets there, Lord.
They went ahead and put us in a wild goose chase to go find Sigismund's other half. And we found her. And oh boy, was she another half.
2 halves.
Did you know about this as well?
No. I care not for the Karajan's dealings.
But they're so interesting.
Knock, like, turns to Wisp, like, really close and whispers in her ear.
Do you think this man knows anything about the old gods?
She just nods.
Knock rears himself back up.
So, you sent your wife away to be healed by people you just met after you got here.
Cared for, watched over. The Karajan cannot help her.
They've tried.
So, not to offend that man or anything else like that, but was she a nuisance to you? Why not keep her around yourself, as benevolent as you are?
I must fully devote my time to finding a cure. I could not watch and protect her while doing the same.
A cure for what?
Her mind.
When they left Barovia, or when the city did, it wreaked havoc on her mind. Did terrible things. She claimed to see things, hear voices. She started dreaming, having nightmares about these things. She saw this city in flames. She witnessed the destruction of it.
And he kind of looks at Lore very pointedly.
She's twirling her braids with her head tilted to the side with this little grin on her face.
While he's talking about all of this, Wisp doesn't have a lot of medical knowledge, but the talk of having a sickness of the mind, does anything come to her being very mentally fortuitous and studying and doing like a lot of like internal mental work? Like, does anything strike her as like, is this an actual sickness, or is this some like a magic?
Go ahead and make, I will let you choose. It would be a medicine check or an arcana check.
She's not good at medicine. She knows a little bit more about arcana, so we're gonna go that route.
Okay.
And that is
That's a
24, natural 20.
Natural 20. You have heard of, obviously, being very well versed in kind of yourself and aware of your own mind and things like that. And being witness to the things that you've been witness to here in Vedranis. You definitely understand what this city could potentially do to a mind, as well as the inhabitants within could do to a mind. There's a strange recognition as well with that natural 20, where it's kind of obvious when you think about it, but when you put it together, it seems that she may have been witness to some very similar things that you have been.
Okay. She'll just keep that kind of weird recollection to herself at the moment, as everybody else continues to talk around her.
As Erisicthon looks at Lore, and she kind of like isn't really looking at him. She's kind of in her mind, and she kind of sets her braids back down and kind of fumbles with something at her neck, and she just, well, I tried to talk to her multiple times.
Yes, and she went into a fit whenever she spoke to you.
That's not my fault. That I know what she's seen and helped her remember and then forget.
No, maybe not, but you do know the reason why.
At this point, Marcoris is turning his attention away from this like celebrity crush and is focusing on Lure, and he's starting to piece together in his mind sort of like what Lure could be capable of and who she might really be. He's just sort of looking at her, that's all.
You come here for a cure.
Yes.
What components do you need other than my plants?
Besides your plants?
Such a spell or a potion would require much to rid these of their maladies.
I think I have everything but times. And the plant. My plant.
So quick to lay claim to something of your own.
I grew it.
I do
Without
not
the rest.
have it. It is used in the most recent experiment of mine. But I know where to find another one.
And she'll cross her arms and she'll say, you should have kept some seeds.
Those were minted as well.
And
Don't
she'll
worry.
slowly kind of turn. She's like sideways to him so she can see, but she's turning away from the group.
I made good progress.
Oh, did you? Oh. She'll try to hide her excitement.
What will you give me in return?
He kind of flexes his hands a little bit and kind of looks at his elongated claws. He kind of, like, as he does that, he kind of gives Lure a sidelong, knowing look.
She meets his gaze. Let me see if she's got internal fortitude here for a second. She wavers a little bit. A little sweat maybe appears on her brow. She tries to hold her glance. What do you want? That I can give you? Or maybe your guests have something.
I mean, that depends on what his lordship's after.
She knows what I want.
I can't give that to you.
You can, you just won't. Give it to me, or at least give me the location of the bigger piece. I know you know where they are.
She will turn fully away from the group so no one can see her face. And she looks to the exit.
Knock
You won't make it very far.
backs up like 4 or 10 steps, you know, because he's huge, and he backs up, but he's like standing in front of Lore, and he crouches down and gets close and says,
We've come from a very long way. And every question we go ahead and ask is answered with more vagueness. Nothing pointed. If you have something, please. Dying inside of this forest, changing into one of whatever the hell the Kyrogen know we were transformed into.
We have
Something
been
we
like this
don't
for
have to
weeks. Weeks. We can change at any moment.
Not me, I'm fine.
You really are fine.
He winks at Lure.
She smiles really slowly. And then she shakes her head and looks back to the group. Is there nothing else he can take?
We thought we could go ahead and drink your tea. And I drunk goddamn 14 gallons of the damn shit.
It was delicious.
Speaking of Wisp, it's time for more tea.
I pull out one of the bottles of tea that I have I pull out 2 bottles of tea. I have 5. I pull out 2 bottles of tea and I'll uncork them both and I'll hand one to Lore and I'll just like clink the glass and start sipping it.
You hear a large sigh come from Strahd, and he says,
There is something else, I suppose.
and he
Knock
looks
rolls
directly
his
at
head.
he looks at Lore, and he's like,
You see, I am very hungry. I am very parched. You could give me one of them. The
They're
big
not my
tall one doesn't look too bad.
Did you just say the tall one?
I see you, buddy.
Yeah, he knock like gets up from like crouched position, talking to Lore, and she watches her and watches him.
Did you just say the tall one?
Yes. Though altogether I am not. Beggars cannot be choosers.
kind of
Not-
strokes his chin a little bit.
Knock cracks a very like large grin, and he looks at Wisp.
She gives him a very concerned look. Just with her eyes. There's no facial emotion. It's in her eyes.
I can just see
Like
sipping
a
on
look
the
of
tea,
pure
and, like,
concern. Yeah.
over the tea glass. Knock, and that kind of one head shakes and looks to McCorus to see what he is doing after hearing.
Of course, does not seem shaken by this at all. He's writing in his notebook. He's got his clipboard out. He's all
I set down my tea after that, and I look at Knock, and I look at Mr. Strahd. I look back at Knock, and I give him a look of, you know where I'm coming from. And she steps up. She'll put the bottle in her sack again. She'll take a deep breath, and she'll step up. You can have me.
Oh,
Knock's
wait,
eyes
no, we need her. She
wide,
punches,
wide.
punches stuff.
With you. And so do I. Hold on. First,
She turns around and like almost puts her hand like to the like very low to the side and just looks back at Knock and says, I told you the other day. I think I'll be okay.
I like to roll an insight check. Yes.
Go ahead.
Nine.
What are you trying to ascertain?
I'm trying to figure out if she's got some sort of something up her flowing sleeves.
She, with a 9, seems very sure of the decision she's making, but not sure of the reasoning of the decision. And she's in that moment, she's looking at Knock. What I told you the other day. What I shared with you. I'm the only one that could maybe handle it. Whatever it is.
the only one that can handle it. That man's gonna turn you into a goddamn raisin.
I don't think he can.
Knock is in his brain as he's playing with the thought of having fucking Sucky Boy going ahead and having his way with Wisp. He just the idea doesn't sit comfortable in his mind. But you see that all of the tension in his body relaxes. Looking towards Wisp.
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
No. But I'd rather take that chance. None of you else deserve that. I'm the only one who maybe it won't affect too much. And if it does, you need less of what he has to save yourself.
Would Lure know and have seen this happen before? Like, does she, as she listens to kind of Wisp, would she know where this is going?
Yeah, I also want to say Wisp has no idea what she's getting into. Like, she has no actual recollection what it means when he's saying any of this. She's just offering because she knows something about herself.
Yeah, I would say, Lore, you know what's being implied here.
Will it be like a, you lose hit points to a situation? Is it like death situation? Is it turn vampire situation? Like which
vampire son of a bitch. I wouldn't know. I thought about doing that myself. I'm like, my guys, I gotta know that shit.
Roll it. I don't know what check would be. Maybe a history check or a nature check, maybe. Either one.
Okay, so my dice say I did not do very good.
A 6. You've seen it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you haven't. I would say you haven't seen it happen. The last time that Strahd proposed this, he did take someone and he forced you out.
Yes. Did I see that person again?
Paul, high or low?
Hi.
You did not.
Okay. She will kind of step forward, and since she's sort of like, so is it Knock and Wisp standing kind of side by side, and Lure's kind of come up behind is sort of what I imagine. I see like
So she stepped about maybe like a foot or two in front of Knock, because Knock was saying, oh, you're the tall, like you're saying the tall one, and she wanted to be in front of Knock to like be as close to Strahd as possible. So he's like probably a step behind me.
When you were looking towards the door, I walked around your path, so it's like myself, closest to the exit, you, Wisp.
Okay. So Laurel will just kind of like get to where she knows you guys can hear. Maybe Eris not so much, and she just says to Wisp, but knowing Knock might hear, it's like, it's a very interesting choice. You wouldn't need me anymore for the next part, because there might not be another part for you.
Yeah,
Very interesting choice.
It is an interesting choice, considering you're the one we're trying to like heal, and knowing what I know about Mr. Strahd.
She kind of tilts her head. She's like, I guess that means I need less for the potion, though.
Okay, yeah, but also we're down one air genasi. First of all, Lure, would you be willing to disclose to the rest of us what exactly it is that Count Strahd wants from you?
She'll look over at Strahd and she'll say, can we have a moment?
Can we have a moment? Here, hold on. Jerry? And Jiraxius walks forward. Jiraxius he's walking again this week. Second week in a row. He walks up and walks up to Strahd. He's like, your countship. I am Jiraxius, Devourer of Hope. I will escort you to a place of your choosing and keep you company and regale you with stories of how I led Hell's 7th Legion into battle.
I have heard tales of this 7th Legion. I thought it was a Glabrezu that did that, not an imp.
And he kind of looks down.
Glabrezu?
Sure.
I just broke myself doing Jerry's voice. The Glabrezu was my personal assistant.
I will give you a few moments. After you, imp.
And he
Jerry leads him up.
gestures to the imp. You don't leave the conservatory. He won't leave, but
okay.
You do walk away. But you can always as all of you walk away, you can just see that while you're talking, Strahd is always keeping an ear in your guys' direction.
So, as he walks away, you see as his back is turned, for the first time, Wisp is undoing her bandeaus and like all, because she's always kept her chest wrapped and just like always clothed. You see her undoing all of these wrappings, and she pulls down her shirt just the tiniest bit. There's a black hole on her chest.
Nox stares directly at your chest, but not in the way that you think.
Okay.
He absolutely
Respectfully astonished.
Yeah, like encapsulated by the fact of what he had gone ahead and seen inside the chapel to what you had told him, correlating with what is now in his, like, visually. His mouth is just
I
agape.
told Knock, I don't have a soul. My order demanded that I give it up to be able to have what I have and do what I do. I don't know if I can die. I don't know if anything can happen. I've never tried, but I think I might be the only one that would be spared if he did try to kill me. It's worth trying.
Your soul is gone, not your body. And that's what he needs. Sustenance. From you.
I don't know. I don't know how this works. I don't know what he wants.
He's hungry.
I don't know. Maybe I can make a deal that he just won't kill me.
Seems like
But I know that at least this will maybe make it easier, harder. I don't know. I never really have told anybody that, or showed anybody.
Laura's
You
just
see her looking very insecure for the first time.
Laura's got her hands like just underneath the top layer of clothing. She's just gripping something and just almost absentmindedly just squeezing it, watching. It's very beautiful. Your soul whole.
She's as you say that, she kind of just like starts clothing herself again. She's just feeling a little bit too vulnerable. So she starts to like wrap herself up again, and she goes,
I mean that seems like a kind of desperate gambit. Wisp. We appreciate your sacrifice and all that.
Nobody else would make sense.
I have the most blood to drink. That makes better sense than you go ahead and sacrificing yourself.
You're just a bigger meal.
And Laura just starts to sink, try to disappear a little bit. Back up.
Lower, and Marcos reaches out and like sort of not roughly, but like grabs her by the shoulder, and he says, "What does he want?"
What is he hungry for?
That the other thing that you won't give to.
And she looks down at her hand and she puts it down.
This thing happened to be hanging around your neck.
I don't know what he would do with it. But she'll reveal a necklace.
she looks. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
As soon as you pull out that necklace and like the realization hits that like it's been here the whole time, everything that he's wanted, she looks straight at Lady Lure's eyes.
We just handed over something of immense power and gratitude. And the gravity of what we did was immense.
What did you hand over?
A piece of an elder god.
Nicholas, look.
We
like?
did that so that we could survive to get here.
Where is it?
It's with the Kyrogen.
Good. She
We didn't. Go ahead.
has a tiny piece in a necklace on her neck.
Yeah, so what you see is like kind of a leather corded necklace that is just wreathed in blue fluorescent lureweed, and it is embroidered and braided with a tiny piece of warpstone.
Said you're no better than the spider lady. Or Sigismund.
Way better than the spider lady. Look at her.
I'm way better than this spider lady.
She was awful.
Listen, of course.
They're all going after the same damn thing.
But all very interesting.
We had to give up.
We're all just standing in a circle. Just
We gave up
whisper
something
fighting.
that was 100 times the size of that to people that we didn't want to give it up to, because we had to survive to get here.
100 times the size. Yes.
Very big.
Oh, wow.
If that's what he wants,
Of course, that's what he wants. Or blood.
why won't you just give it to him? What do you have to use it for?
I get the feeling
Nock says, wait.
that
And Nock gets really close to everybody, like kind of pushes everybody like into the huddle with his big arms.
He said a piece of it. There's another piece of it here, isn't there?
I mean, he could have been referring to the other big one,
Wait.
the one we
What
gave
if we
away.
what if we tell him where the big one is?
This is what I'm thinking, okay? But I'm not going to tell him until we get what we came for. Gotta think of some way to, First of all, I'm getting the feeling that Lure doesn't want him to know where it is because Lure doesn't trust him, and Lure seems like a good soul, right?
I'm a really good soul. Also, do we have to be this close?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Wisp? right. I should have exfoliated.
I can help with that.
Okay. So here's the thing: is we need a diamond, we need your plant, and we need something else. Is that right?
I think I have everything but the plant and the diamond. It's a potion that will help. I have what we need.
Okay. So do we know where to get a diamond?
Under the earth.
Or
In
we could take a risk at waiting until midnight and give him a little ringy ding ding.
Wait, no. The man wants to go ahead and get his hands on something. We know where the bigger piece is. Why don't we just bargain that information?
Well,
Call it a
if
day.
he's but what if he's hungry? What if we tell him? What if we tell him where the big piece is, and try to figure out how to get him there, and
We already have a
or
way to get him there as well.
well, secretly. He could find we could feed him Sigismund.
No. I like
That's
it.
a good idea. Maybe he's.
What if we promise him somebody else that he can take there? He can get his wife back. He can get the bigger stone, and he can feed.
I'm gonna ask Biddy what you want to do. I'll be right back. And she'll
wait.
just zip out of the little circle. She goes over to this little pot and starts talking to this the little pot. She also was having a harder and harder time making eye contact with you guys as you're talking about everything.
Trading people's lives.
Nock gets like reforms the circle, gets a little bit closer.
I don't fucking trust this lady at all. It's
Listen.
honestly, I want to throw her out the goddamn greenhouse.
But she's the one who's gonna get rid of your tongue.
Is she though? You got
Yeah.
a goddamn vampire king from a whole god different plate. Plate.
Plate from a different plate of existence.
So we can all eat from the same damn table. We don't necessarily need a goddamn shrubbery. Its
Okay.
foliage can't be trusted.
Okay, hold on. The way I see it, we have a limited set of options here. Number one, hand whisk. I just called you whisk, like a kitchen tool. We hand wisp over to be sucked dry, probably die. And then the person we're here to heal, one half of them, it's pointless because she's dead. Right? No, we're not gonna do that. Okay? We need you around because you hit things with your stick.
I agree.
Number 2, we find a way to hold off giving this Strahd the information of where the big old warp stone is located. Send him over there. Say, not only is it a warp stone, but, you know, it's kind of an all-you-can-eat buffet, okay? And your wife. So you can go visit your wife, make a day of it, take her out to the market, whatever. Number 3, we find a way to... Oh, hi, Laura.
Hi, I'm back.
Hi.
Circle reopens a little bit.
Laura, you don't want to give up that little necklace, huh?
No.
But what if we could go ahead and give you more?
What if I told you we had a long pike weapon with an animated pig's head on it?
I've seen it. I looked at it while everyone was sleeping last
It's
night.
gross,
It's
but
amazing.
I don't want it.
But Biddy and I talked.
Okay, what did Biddy say? And okay, yep, go ahead.
I can best help if I have very potent lure weed. All mine is aging and
I think all of you guys got jetted out of
Did
the call. It was
did
kinda
you
weird.
guys? I just sneezed. Did you? Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I was saying-
we're coming back slowly.
I have hay fever.
I'm just watching the
Silly.
stream. I can't hear anybody.
Allergies.
Oh.
My mind kind of got distracted there for a moment. Did you what?
There's a lot of butt cheek back there, all right?
Yeah, it really is. So much.
Just silent.
Okay, Biddy, what was Biddy's opinion on this matter?
Well, Biddy and I were talking about the components of this potion that I would need. And I was reminded that I would prefer to have very potent lure weed, and there's one place I know that we could go. And there is
Is there another one of those rocks?
I don't want him to have that one. But yes.
Why? Why that one? Is it special to you?
Yes,
Special to Biddy?
everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
It's very dangerous. We would have to be
Insight?
very careful.
Insight check.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also like to do the same. I'm just not. Knock has done nothing but stare at her this entire fucking time. It's like the deception is real.
What was explained, because I couldn't hear anybody.
So much. We just
oh,
unpacked the whole
The whole
plot.
thing.
Oh.
We cracked it
all
open.
know it.
We cracked it open. In fact,
Oh,
you're supposed to
okay.
tell us the secrets that we just figured out.
Mhm.
Oh.
We already know what they are, but we want to hear
We
it
just
from
we
you.
want to hear from you.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
The short version is, yeah, go ahead, Danae,
but-
because
oh,
you were
the
the one who
short-
kind of,
The short version is that Lore has said that Biddy and her would like to go get the potent lure weed, which is near something that we know that he wants.
but she doesn't want him to have this thing that she wants. We're trying to figure that out, and she says it's because it's dangerous. And then Marcoris rolled a 19 insight.
She's being very truthful.
Okay.
So,
Dangerous? How?
oh. How many horrors have you seen?
Well, let's see. We watched
No,
giant
horrors. Knock.
Oh.
Horrors.
Hey, what the hell you? No, not the damn. I ain't talking about strumpets.
Oh, okay.
Talking about giant fleshy creatures that
Yes.
killing people inside of a market.
Yes.
Massive, lots of mouths.
Mhm.
We've seen liches. We've seen half spider, half women
Oh.
creatures.
Yes.
Elder spider god that we chopped up.
Yeah, we saw his legs.
Oh,
You did.
Chopped him
We've
off.
seen a lot of weird shit.
good. Then you're
A
prepared.
lot of weird shit.
You're saying that this place that we're going to also full of weird stuff?
Yes. And I think we can all get out of here alive if we tell him. And she'll kind of glance over to where
And we
Strahd.
all look in unison at Strahd and Jerry.
Yeah.
Like as we all look over, Jerry is animatedly like telling this story. He says,
I imagine.
and then the war machines unleashed their final volley. And he's just like,
I imagine he's like reenacting like fighting and like doing like this crazy things and like. I love Jerry so much.
He's got
He's
the
like
whole
all the parts.
C3. He's got the whole C3PO vibe going on from Return of the Jedi. Yeah, you
just
can
like-
see Strahd's just like candid
humoring him.
Yeah, absolutely.
If all of the dangers are gone, it helps him too. Because then he will be able to get to the stone. But I don't think he should have it.
Are you willing to make a sacrifice in this case for the greater good of healing my friends here so we can perhaps put this whole town back to rights? Or at least get out of here?
I can be persuaded. I need the lure weed from there. Badly.
It's fine with me. I mean, the way I see it, this guy gets his magic rock. You get your potent lure weed. Friends get healed. But no human sacrifice.
He can have some. No. He can have my necklace. I'll give him the necklace after we clear the way. Maybe that's better.
All right, lure and
Does he know that this larger one exists? Where the potent lureweed is, does he know that it exists?
I don't know. But I know of others too. I could maybe give him one of those. No.
How many do you know of?
She sees you counting and her eyes visibly widen.
Nox starts to think about the map that he went ahead and seen and take a look at with all the
Wait a
circles on
minute.
it.
How are you wearing that?
so got lure weed all over in there. Kind of like the Kyrogins wore it when they're masked.
It's beautiful.
No, the
Wait.
warp stone.
Yes.
We were near the warp stone and it changed us.
But we didn't
How
have
did
the
it not-
lure weed protect us.
So you can only be by it with only lureweed.
I'll show you something on our way to the big one.
You just see her
understand.
you see her nod and internalize it all again. Just wheel spinning.
I'll go talk to Strahd if you're ready to go.
Nox
And
sits up.
she looks
Hey.
around.
Hey, we're ready to talk.
With respect.
Yeah, with respect, but doesn't like if Laura tries walking over there to go talk to him privately, Nox is right behind her.
You're in with me. A very interesting tale.
And then we were victorious over the wonderfully good armies of light.
Yeah, those terrible armies. It sounded like quite the battle.
It was. I killed many of them.
I'm sorry I
For-
ever doubted you.
And he pats his little head.
Jerry wags his scorpion tail and then waddles back over to the rest of them.
Laura will she's trying to figure out in her mind if she can keep if she gives the necklace, which he wants, can she replace? So would I have enough information about being able to essentially replace? Because I know this was actually not something that
Okay.
that's one question before as she's calculating her next move.
Roll. Roll a wisdom check.
Just straight wisdom.
I mean, unless you want to use the necklace, which I would say you could do in this instance.
Okay. Let's see. I think I can do it. Oh no. I don't think it's gonna matter too much. Because that was very low. It was that one with a little bit of
So-
extra on top of it.
You're sitting there trying to remember how or when or why you made this and how you could do it again. And you don't, as always, and every time you try to think about this, you don't remember how. You don't remember how you made it. You don't remember why you made it. You don't even remember if you made it.
She'll replay those thoughts again, and it's almost like she's kind of gets angry with herself for trying to remember again because she remembers that she never remembers. And she'll tell Eris, I'm going to take our guests on a little tour. I need protection for what I'm about to do, and when the land is safe, I will show you a stone.
Make a persuasion check.
The
If
gods be with you.
she's like, "Oh, spirits guide me." Persuasion.
Yeah.
That's a 13. A very solid 13, I might add.
Nice round 13.
It's just a chunky number right there.
Let's see.
I mean, it's something he really wants super, super bad, so maybe I got advantage or something.
I'll give you advantage.
Pew, pew, pew.
Sure.
That's a 17.
17. He thinks for a moment. And he looks at you. And you can feel his eyes bore into you.
Very well. I will go claim the plant for you while you leave. So that after you clear the path for me and show me the stone, I will give you what you want, and you will let me have what I want.
Of course.
If you do anything funny, or anything, I will kill you. Or, worse for you, better for me, I will make you one of my thrall, and you will do my bidding for eternity. Do we have an understanding?
Point of clarification. Is a silly thing. I was gonna let you pet Bitty Bitty. Is that silly?
He just stares at you.
You know how important it was. Thank you. I'll see you shortly. And she starts to just back away. She'll run into a table.
He straightens up and kind of straightens his apron.
I will also prepare a diamond for you. You will likely need dust of a diamond to do what you want. I will make sure it is ready for you.
I appreciate that on behalf of the Order of the Emerald Claw and also these people.
Nods his head a little bit.
Off we go.
Go back out. out. We all back out in unison.
Before we leave, Wisp will kind of just like wait till everybody starts walking, and she's not gonna like wait till everybody leaves and she's alone with him, but she will kind of turn and like walk up close enough that he can hear her, because I imagine they're still a little bit distance away.
She's safe. If that makes you feel any better.
Thank you.
And she just walks off.
As you're all about to turn and leave, you hear his voice one more time.
One more thing.
Nock throws his hands up. Yes, what is on the list? The shopping list.
Draxius,
Yes, my lord.
I hope to see you promoted again once more one day.
Not give up until I am.
And he turns around and marches out.
I would like to see you in your full glory.
To be able to handle it. All respected.
I hope so.
And
Marches
then
out regally.
yeah, and he says something to him in Infernal.
Got it.
So, as soon as they get on the other side of the door, Laura takes a deep breath, because this is the air that she enjoys. And she kind of shakes her head and looks around at everybody. Wow, that went well.
That guy's so cool, you guys.
I didn't. You know him?
Oh yeah, no, we've heard stories about Strahd. I mean, the iron-fisted ruler, like just really like everybody was afraid of him.
He's a puppy.
Maybe, yeah.
A puppy.
Yeah. So sweet.
But also real evil.
Yeah.
Nock is like absolutely 86 all of the patients in his body.
Where are we going?
This way. And with permission DM, she'll start taking him to a location. Is that okay?
Yep, that is perfectly fine. And as you guys,
Which way are we going?
Yeah, what direction are we headed in?
I believe it would be a northeastern direction.
I think that's correct. And there's
Okay.
an arc that she'll make.
And as you guys begin your journey to something, that is where we will take our break for this evening. Oh boy. I will just say he rolled an insight check on you, Lady Lore, and rolled a nat 20 for a total of 32.
Wow, wee wah.
What was the insight for?
Just to see like your intentions and whatnot and stuff like that. So.
Like she's scheming. She's truthful, but still scheming.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
Just like
feel
there.
like right.
I just want everyone to know. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying that I love being looked at like a giant Capri Sun. You know, just like,
I was also just going to say every single one of the notes that I wrote for tonight have a question mark attached to the end of it. Everything has a question mark attached to the end of it.
Every
today,
single
so-
sentence rises up at the end.
Man.
Yeah, it does.
Will
Like,
give us a diamond.
We're going towards a stone.
it's gonna
Like-
get turned into a raisin.
Yeah.
Would I
Do the raisin.
die?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Crazy.
Well, we will be back in 7 to 10 minutes, everybody. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you for all the follows tonight. We appreciate everybody who's been hanging out and chatting and lurking and all the things. Make sure to grab a drink, grab a snack, use the restroom, and we will see you in 7 to 10 minutes to see what happens next. See you soon, guys. Welcome back, everyone. Oh, didn't get me this time. Didn't get me this time.
Good. It was a good demeanor you got there. We'll play top drawer.
I got to bring my A game with this crew now. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful break. Thanks again for hanging out with us with this craziness that's happening tonight. So, Lady Lure, you are heading this group, leading them along. And per usual, as you are, you're kind of watching this little white rabbit hop across the little pathway in between the bushes, you know, skittering through the, you know, the foliage and whatnot.
Do we see this rabbit? I forgot. Do we see Itty Bitty or no?
No.
No? Okay.
No. No, you just kind of see maybe Lord maybe looking at the ground, kind of like,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
Yeah, you
And-
would see her kind of like sometimes reach down, like just scritch the air. Sometimes reach down and like put something under her arm and then put it back down. She's interacting with something very real. She would guide them sort of northwardly, and this very lush gardens area, this kind of environment, her habitat, as I call it when I'm describing it, is something that's very beautiful and twisted all at the same time. And we begin to kind of approach this area where it almost looks like nature is starting to move outward from it. Like the plants are kind of angled away from the direction that you're headed. Maybe like at first it just looks like weird hanging vines, but then even the grass is sort of pointed away.
And you guys, there's for Knock and Wisp, you are hit with a very familiar feeling, I guess. Marquar's not so much because of the way you entered the city. But Wisp and Knock, you will remember on your way into Vedranis, before you even crossed the threshold and the gates into Vedranis, on your cart ride here with Vaughter, Kimura, and Calder, you remember seeing plant life and trees turned outwards, almost like a blast had hit, but also like they're kind of growing away from the city. And you get a very similar vibe here. As you can see, yeah, like grasses and plants and trees like twisted outwards from this area that you're heading into.
As we're walking and I notice that, can I look at the foliage and what types of plants they are? Do they look like like they would be native to this area?
Roll a nature check.
Not good at it. 10.
10. For best you can tell, there's a wide variety of different plant life here, from your normal looking vines and grasses and bushes, and then you also see some very beautiful yellow plants with some fronds coming off of it. You see another kind of bush looking plant with 3 different colored flowers kind of sprouted from it, and things like that. They kind of like make you look at them for a little bit longer, but you think they...
But it's not like a pine tree in a tropical forest sort of thing?
No,
Okay.
it's all very kind of lush.
It just happens to be growing in that direction?
Yeah.
Okay.
As
She'll make note of it.
as we kind of continue on, she'll kind of stop at this one particular spot that doesn't seem all that interesting. And she'll kind of wait for everybody to gather up, and she'll... Sometimes there are creatures, people that will come into the gardens, and they shouldn't come this way. But if they do, sometimes they get confused. Sometimes they bite. Sometimes the plants bite. So I would just be aware. We're getting into the thick of it now, but I'm not taking you to the other place yet. I want to show you something first. This is where I was standing when the sky fell. So I kind of like look up to the sky. There's just this clearing where all the trees are kind of almost opened up their canopy to this sky, and she just looks up. It was beautiful and terrifying all at the same time, like everything here. So just be careful. Pretty things are dangerous too. And don't touch anything.
Lord, there's a moment where, as you kind of take a step closer, your necklace kind of thrums, almost with like a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
It's dull, but you can kind of feel like a push into your chest, and all of a sudden you see a green flash, and you see something monstrous.
Is it familiar?
It is. But you also see a man turn and look at you wearing familiar clothing to you. And then there are other people kind of in the background that are kind of vague look, like you can't really see because they're so far ahead, and they also turn and look at you. And then the moment is gone and you're back to where you were.
Is this a similar thing that's happened to her in the past, like this activity?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So you would all see that she kind of grips her chest where her necklace is, and almost like a pulse of energy that would just kind of go through her. She kind of just takes a little deep breath, and her eyes open, and they're kind of not focused on anything. And she just has this calm kind of look on her face. This way. This way. And she'll just keep walking. And it's not too much further. You would begin to get to an area where there is almost devoid of any foliage or plant life. It's like everything is trying to run away from, and in the middle is you guys remember what lembas bread looks like in Lord of the Rings? Where it's like a piece of bread that's like just wrapped, There is something that is just wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped. It's just this, it looks like something wrapped in lembas bread.
In leaves?
In leaves, specifically, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, what you see as you kind of enter this clearing is as you guys take a step forward, you now realize that you're only stepping in mud and dirt and water, as any plant life in like a 30-foot radius is gone. And maybe knee high, so maybe 2.5 feet tall, and about the same width, you see this thing that's been wrapped around this. I want everybody to make a perception check. Okay. Knock, you notice blue luminescent looking plants, and their vines and leaves have been wrapped around this. You recognize loreweed immediately. Wisp, you see the very faint green glow, very weakly emanating from within these wraps of plants.
Is it something that I've seen before, this type of green glow?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh, that shit familiar.
Oh,
Yeah, would I recall what it could be then?
Yeah. You remember seeing it in Lord Walden's chamber. You remember seeing it in Dr. Karina's lab. It is most definitely 100% the glow of warpstone.
Laura will, as you're all kind of looking at it, she'll say, "Don't touch it. I have to be very careful. Just don't touch anything. I'll be right back." And she races towards it fearlessly. Kind of on the outer edges of where the stone is, sort of in the water, there's laurelweed that's sort of sadly kind of growing. Like it exists sort of on the perimeter. And Laura runs to it and she begins, just talking to it and cooing to it. And she's saying, "I am so sorry. I haven't been here. It's been too long. I'll come back tomorrow and I'll help you grow. Okay? Stay here. Be well, be well, be well." And then she'll turn her attention to the stone itself and where the drying laurelweed on the stone has been kind of opening up, allowing you to kind of see inside of it. She begins to try to patchwork it and cover it again. And she'll open her and just take out, how like they have those watch people, they like open up their jackets, just watches. It's
yes, I've definitely seen those people.
She like opens up her cloak and she just begins to get the same thing that you guys have seen, whatever she's been able to weave, and she just begins to wrap it around. She dips it down into the water, she wraps it around, she takes a bit of the tea, she takes a sip and she pours at the top, and she just kind of like you would do with the paper mache almost. She's just like packing it on, and she'll look up at you guys every once in a while to see what you're doing.
And Laura, Derek, Laura, as you're doing this, you see the little white rabbit just sitting there, kind of watching you, sitting on top of the warps.
I'm huddling close to the rest of the group, a little bit to Wisp and Knock, just watching her like talk to this thing we can't see.
How long have you been touching that thing there, Laura?
Since I found it.
I know what you're thinking, Knock. Parkour says. He says it quietly. He's probably trying not to let Laura hear him.
That's not true. Exactly. I had to have the ideas first. It was too dangerous at first. It's too dangerous where we're going next. But we're going to go there where you will see the most beautiful laurelweeds you've ever seen. They're huge.
How far is she away from us right now?
That's kind of
10, 15 feet.
up to you. Yeah.
He leans over towards Knock and he whispers and says, she's not crazy. I mean, she is crazy, but she's not crazy.
Knock's eyes widen and he's like,
all I've heard since I've gotten to this damn forest is crazy.
No. All right, just because something appears to be different doesn't mean that it's crazy. She can see that quarry spirit. Just because we can't doesn't mean it's not there.
I'm not talking about the spirit or anything else like that. Look at her.
She's a Kalashtar.
She licks the stone.
She's descended. Okay, she's a little bit unusual. I'll grant that. But she's a group of people that sort of like imagine if like dreams could have babies.
Okay.
No, I do not want to know if dreams can have babies. I was stuck in a dream before. If I had babies in the dream, it would have been a terrible thing.
All I'm saying is, just because she appears to be acting strange, this might be her normal, you know?
Knock leans in close to Macoris.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt now until we see whatever goddamn garden or greenhouse does he takes us to next. But mind your words, because if that crazy goes ahead and gets us killed, it's on you.
Crazy might be the same thing that saves your bacon.
I love bacon. And she is right there.
Me too.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Are you ready to go?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, lead the way there, Lord.
As they walk, she'll turn to you, of course, and she'll say, "Have you been here since the beginning, too?"
no, not as long as you have. I haven't even been here as long as Strahd has. Bounce around from place to place, kind of. Then always back to Eberron, but
Eberron.
yeah, something tells me it might not be as easy going home this time. And he starts absent-mindedly fingering this bead that's woven into his hair. He says, that's all right. You know, I'm sure that we'll get out of it, or the home office will be able to come and get me or something. I mean, I'm pretty valuable.
What's home like after the city?
Well, you know, we got our share of problems, but nothing that a little bit of, you know, effort and organization can't fix. I mean, we had the Emerald Claw. He launches into like this whole like sales pitch. You know what I mean? Like he's propagandizing, right? He's like, we at the Emerald Claw believe that you know, everybody holds the divine spark of potential within themselves to be something greater than whatever they dreamed. And by working together and through the powers of necromancy, we can achieve that.
And she just thinks.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is Lure your real name?
No.
Okay, I figured.
Hmm.
And I know you folks tend to have do you have like a couple different names or something like that?
Oh, when I discovered the power of the lure, I became what the gardens needed. I protected here for so long. I've no need for my name anymore.
Strangely beautiful.
Do you have
Keep on
any
walking.
names?
No, just Marcoris Dag. I mean, Sir Marcoris Dag. Sir Marcoris Dag, Knight of the Order of the Emerald Claw in the service of Lady Illness. So I do have one.
What does the bullhead mean to you?
Bullhead?
Hmm?
What, the thing on Nox's belt?
And she'll look
That what you
over.
mean? Got that horned skull there.
Does it look like the symbol that she's thinking?
Not really. Like maybe vaguely, but not really.
Do I know what she's talking about? It's Marcoris now.
I would say make
As someone who's not as experienced in Eberron lore as you are.
Yeah. Make a history check with advantage.
That'd be a 21 advantage.
There is a hint of familiarity. You might need to have her describe it a little bit more, but it's like it's kind of like is she talking about what I think she's talking about? And I can explain more in a minute.
Yeah. Okay, when you say bullhead,
Hmm.
what do you mean? You mean like, go into detail. You mean like a minotaur? What are you talking about?
I remember, and I've seen in my mind downturned horns, red eyes, a bull from home, maybe. It doesn't matter. We're almost there.
Let me think.
And in a different way from the environment that they've been in, where the foliage was kind of dripping away from. And in this case, it's getting thicker and thicker and thicker as they kind of head towards this new direction.
Yeah.
And she'll stop every so often and talk to Bitty Bitty and find a different path, that kind of thing.
Okay. As you guys continue your travels, soon you begin to hear the sounds of running water. That sounds almost like a small waterfall. And as Lore moves and weaves through these plants and this foliage, you are soon brought to a clearing, similar to the one that you were just at maybe a few hours ago. But this one is different. There's still lush foliage. And the first thing you notice is a pit. Or I'm trying to think. I think a pit is probably the best way to describe it, as it is clearly evident. It's maybe 40, 50 feet in diameter. It's a huge pit, and you can see water falling off that's come from any like streams or standing water in this area is like falling into it. And the other thing you guys see are tables and tents and chairs and a carriage surrounding the circumference of this giant pit.
Laura's really, really cautious. And she's going,
Knuckles, what?
No. This is where the horrors play. Well, not here as much as down there.
Chairs and tables.
and she'll kind of get on her hands and knees and start crawling towards the edge of the hole.
Yeah, Knock walks up next to her and long lean over to look down there. I mean, I got 60 feet of dark vision. Is it just, how deep is this pit?
Is it dark? What time is it?
It's
my own knowledge.
It's in the afternoon, but it is kind of. It's not really ever sunny in Vedranis, right?
As opposed to Philadelphia.
As opposed to Philadelphia. It is kind of gloomy, and whatever light would be maybe piercing through the kind of brackish sky of Vedranis is covered by the foliage. So it is relatively dark. You can see fine, but it is a little dark. And Knock, you look down about 120 feet down is where you see the end of this pit.
Is there... So there is an end, and I can see the end, yes?
Yes.
Are we looking at piles of bones? Are we looking at more foliage? What's down there?
Make a perception check.
Yeah.
And Knock and Wisp, I want you to roll perception checks as well.
You just said Knock twice. You want me to roll 2 of them?
Sorry, Marcoris. And Wisp, my bad.
There's 2 Knocks now.
My bad.
Laura's
Who's there?
distracted. She's holding back Bitty
Third
Bitty
Knock.
from jumping down. She's like, no, you stay.
It's almost like
Marcoris
cartoon. It's like you can almost see like Bitty Bitty going, it's like.
And she's like, not yet.
Ooh, yeah, dang it.
Don't
I'll
fall.
take a natural 20.
Ooh.
Marcoris also rolled very badly. Marcoris got 2, so he's trying to actually see it to see Bitty Bitty.
Okay,
somebody's staring at one of those weird 3D images at the mall.
Right. Okay.
You know.
Yeah. Wisp, there are books and quills and things like that are you see near one of these tables, you see some paper and notebooks. You also see like a rucksack kind
I
of leaned up
immediately
against.
gravitate towards it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's books there. She's there.
So wait, you already jumped in the pit?
No, she's
No,
on the
no,
outside.
no.
It's a
I'm
rucksack
looking around
pit.
the outside while you're looking directly into the pit.
Yeah.
Geeky. I was
I'll
like,
get-
Yeah. I just found I found a rucksack and some books, so I'm just like gravitating in that direction as you're looking.
Right.
I'll get to you in a second. You gravitate towards this table and you see notes and scrawlings. They do look older. You can see a little bit of mold, and they're damp from the just from the moisture and the humidity here. You see the rucksack, and same thing. There's a little bit of this mold, and then the notebook you see actually catches your attention as there is like a symbol on it, like stamped into the leather. And you see a it looks to be like a bull that's kind of got its horns kind of in a downward motion. You can see like steam or something kind of blown, like kind of pushing through its nostrils. And at the top, it looks like a crest. And you see at the top there's like a hammer and an anvil, and then there's the bowl, and then at the bottom it says a word that you don't recognize, or it almost looks like a different language to you. And it says Canith, Cannith.
So I can read that it says Canith, but it
You can
almost
read
looks
it, but
like
it's
another
like-
language. It's
it's like,
just kind
what
of
is
an
this?
manipulation of letters that kind of look like Canith. I
Yeah.
can make that out at least.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
read it. It's in common, but it's like you've never heard that
Oh, okay.
word. You don't know if it's a word or a name.
Or a
You're not sure
name,
what it
okay.
is.
Can I just pocket the book for now? Can I just take it and kind of just like hold on to it as I like walk over to where the pit is, where everybody else is?
Yeah.
Cool.
Do I see her take the book?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, unless she's hiding it. Like, I don't know if you're hiding.
No, I mean, she's casually just kind of walking around. She's not been like, other than like this is where the horrors play. She hasn't really been told not to do anything. So I think she would grab it if it looked newer and less moldy than everything else. She would grab it and just throw it in her sack for later.
Okay. Knock, a natural 20. You don't see any bones down there. You think you make out a couple figures. You're not sure if they're bodies or anything like that. They don't seem to be moving. The one thing towards like the center is some large object. You can't really see because dark vision is like in grays and blacks and white, you know. So it's hard to tell what it is. There's just like this big shape that is just kind of blocking almost any of your vision past that. You're not entirely sure what it is, but you can definitely see something large down there.
All right. Knock, as he makes that observation, he turns around.
There's no signs of death. So if there is anything down there, it's either very thorough in what it eats, or ain't nothing down there. There is something that looks like a statue, though, and I'm curious about that. What is down there, Lord?
Something beautiful and terrifying. I can tell you. You can feel the power or no? You feel it too?
Maybe I'll feel something.
Yeah, I would say that you, and I should have maybe said this earlier, you do see or feel this very familiar presence push up against your chest. You hear voices whispering in all of your heads that has been so familiar to you. And I will say, Knock, I forgot to mention this, you do see a little bit of green somewhere down below. A little that there's this eerie green glow that's almost just out of your vision, that's coming from around that large silhouette that you can see down there.
I do relay the fact that there's something shiny and green down there too to the party.
Of course there is. That's why we're here. We need to have a plan. We can go down without a plan. And
Something else down there protecting the rock.
Usually, the stones have guardians, I call them. Until I wrap them. I can't wrap this one. I just want the lure weed. I can't wrap this one.
There's two of the stones.
Down there?
One we just went by, too. And there's one down there.
Yes.
But it's dangerous down there.
It's not wrapped. I can't. It's too dangerous.
All right. Choose how to
We don't want the stone. We're just down there for the potent stuff.
She burst into laughter at when you say we don't want the stone, and she's.
What did I say? Did I tell a joke? Okay.
You'll see.
Okay.
Is she still pointing or like peering over the hole?
Mm-hmm.
Knock asks,
You've never been down there, right?
That I can remember.
Knock kicks her into the hole.
She'll try to hold on the side.
Okay, I need a dexterity saving throw from Lure and an athletics check from Knock.
Remind me, how deep is this hole?
About
120 feet?
100 feet.
I'm hoping you got feather fall. I was like, you do magic.
That's a 9 for a dex saving throw.
And you said
Okay.
athletics, right there, sir?
That's athletics, yeah.
Yeah.
Punt.
Okay, I need to calculate fall damage.
Does she have enough time to cast a spell?
I would say so.
That's a decent height. Yeah.
Okay, she'll cast Gaseous Form.
How long does that take to cast?
It's a touch, and it takes. It's just a touch.
It's instantaneous.
Is it instantaneous?
It's an action.
Okay. Yeah, so all of a sudden, Knock, Marcoris and Wisp, you see Knock just kick Lady Lore from behind into the hole. That's all you see.
Ah! Oh, okay. Oh, jeez, man.
If you'll allow me to, I rolled an 18 for her cognitive thought. She wants to free fall until she can cast it, and then, because she's a little excited about flying.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Little bird brain. Okay. All right.
Knock hasn't looked up at anybody yet, even from all the gasps, as he's looking down the hole to see her eventually stop.
Well, now you're down there. So, what do you see?
When she casts gaseous form, I would imagine I'd run over behind Knock and like look down in the hole and see what's going on too. What does it look like, Danae, when she casts a spell? Like how does it look to us?
Yeah.
Depending on how Cole will allow this, she would wait until she needs to do it. So I don't know how you can see, how far down you can see. If you could see it, it would just be a, and she would just turn into essentially mist.
And Marcoris goes, oh god, she hit the bottom, just turned into water vapor.
What's going on? Why did you do that?
She's never been down there before. I figured that she
I
wasn't
have a
overall
rope.
going down there.
And gravity wasn't the thing standing in her way, Beefcake. I mean, if she wanted to fall down the hole, she could have.
Well,
I
she
have
should
a
make a
rope.
plan. I thought of a plan.
And Marcoris, would Marcoris recognize this spell that she cast?
You could roll an Arcana check.
I will say that it's also a warlock spell.
Okay.
17.
I would say so.
And he's gonna go. No, you just. I mean, we're all going through some stuff, but you really. And then he just touches himself, and he casts gaseous form on himself, and drifts down into the hole to catch up with Woodward.
I see this happen. Is it dim light or darkness?
It's
down there?
dark down there.
I will for a moment, the shimmer that I have from the displacement cloak, as well as the kind of like the loose shadow that I have from my staff, you'll see me kind of look over to Knock, and I'll wink, and I'm going to use for the first time my shadow step, and you see her kind of go into like a key form, and as soon as she finishes the key form, she puffs into like this misty black purple smoke, and you see her Knock appear 60 feet down, and then I will use my slow fall for the other 60 feet, and I'll just kind of land and tumble and do the roll and kind of stand up, and then I wave to Knock.
Avenger.
Knock kind of just like smacks all the like the gaseous smoke and everything else that's kind of blowing around because everyone's turning to fucking gas. He's like,
goddamn magicians.
and he just jumps down the hole.
Okay, you as you're doing this, you see Aiden sitting there.
Oh no!
I as I'm falling, I go.
Okay. Are you gonna? Do you have any spells to cast or anything like that?
No, I'm gonna roll.
It's 120 feet of fall damage.
Yeah, fall damage. I'm going to fall that distance, and I'm also going to use stone endurance, which is I'll have a 12-point buffer.
I need to find falling damage. I think it's a falling. Okay. You take
falling damage. Falling.
I think it is 1d6 every 10 feet.
1d6 every 10 feet. So that would.
But there's a limit to it.
So a maximum of 20d6. So you're going to take 10d6 fall damage.
Let's go. Let's go.
While this is happening, I also want everybody to know that Jerry is currently trying to pick up Aiden and fly.
For future reference, does Shadow Step allow me to take somebody that is equal my height or smaller, since it's almost like a dimension door?
I don't know. It would say.
It doesn't say
I don't
anything.
think so. I wouldn't think so.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind then, because I would have tried to take him if I could. I think it's just for me.
Yeah. You take 33 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yikes!
As you fall.
I'm then going to use stone endurance, which would be a 12 worth of damage taken off for that. Let me just go ahead and 8 damage, so 3, 5 would take 25 damage.
25? Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So so as everyone turns into gaseous form, Nox just heavy ass just craters into the ground. But like as I like recover, you see that like there's like I make a grunt as soon as I land, but other than that, it's just he shakes it off of his body, and takes a survey of the room after that. Also blows away some of the excess gas because I probably landed on someone's gas.
Okay.
My gas.
So you guys land. All of you get there eventually, and just take a look at what is around you. You stop for a moment as you guys were falling the last 20 feet or so. There is an object that is in front of you, other than I guess the gaseous form, as you're kind of able to go slowly. You all kind of stand there and look around. You see it's dark, but any of you with dark vision can see bodies laying around. There are several tunnels that kind of go past. There's a little bit of water in this area. There's where from the pit there's water falling. There's just this stagnant water that is falling or sitting there, and it is difficult to move. In the center, you see a warp stone, but you are in awe immediately because it is the biggest warp stone you have ever seen. It is about 20 feet high. It is about 15 to 20 feet wide. And there is a moment of shock and awe when you realize that this warp stone is not really in the shape of a stone. It is a fist that is like this, protruding from the ground. And it's just sitting there. And you can feel the weight of it push against you. You can hear the voices in your head immediately. Knock and Wisp, you have to shake for a moment. Marcoris, you kind of have a moment where you're like, haven't really felt the full force of something like this before. Wisp, or Lure, it's a little bit less for you, but it's still, you realize how potent this is as you can see loreweed growing from the water and kind of protruding. I need everybody to immediately make a Constitution saving throw.
My specialty.
Lure, we have
Big rock,
advantage on ours.
Oh my god, no big rock,
in
man.
mist form.
Oh, I gotta do.
I would roll a 1.
Was it
dude.
Constitution saving throw you said?
Yes.
While she's looking at this, Wisp kind of like under her breath in primordial.
This is absolutely insane.
And she's just like standing in awe.
You said that in what language?
Primordial.
Okay.
We're definitely not going to be able to pick that one up.
That's a 13 from me.
13. Okay. Let's see. 1 second. I need to pull up a book. Sorry, I should have had this open.
Yeah, how dare you?
How dare I?
Jesus. Just can't.
I just can't do it.
Just
I
can't.
need Knock and Marcoris to roll a d10.
Boy.
5.
5.
Don't worry, I know how to type. I'm not lost. Wait.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
It's at this moment I'm like, oh, I meant to drink tea before I approached the hole. Dang it.
Knock and Marcoris, you immediately start to feel sick.
Ooh.
Marcoris, you feel an ache at your back.
His gaseous form back.
You
My
are
gassy back.
you are immediately brought back into your humanoid form.
Okay.
The spell stops.
All right. So I'm probably like a good 3 feet off the ground, 4 feet off the ground.
Yeah, so you fall, you're able to land.
Just land.
Well, I would say here's what happens. You would fall, but all of a sudden, and this might get a little kind of body horror-esque, so if anybody's not okay with this, forewarning, you feel your back, it feels like it's being cut on your, like near your shoulder blades from the inside as something begins to push its way out of your back. And why I say you would fall is you feel yourself grow vestigial wings, and you are now hovering, which is strange to you.
Yeah, man.
For a very specific reason, which I don't know if anybody
They
is
don't know.
aware of. And this, I wonder, you can tell me if this is the same thing that is manifesting itself and becoming deformed and mutated, or if this is entirely new. I will let you decide that.
Okay.
Do you need to give me a minute? I can give you a minute.
I need a
can
second.
describe-
I need a
okay.
second. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Knock. You feel your muscles bulge and flex inherently.
Damn right. Fuck yeah, swole.
Your tongue kind of lolls out
Nah, here we go.
as you begin talking. The fire kind of engulfs you. From your biceps, you feel a similar something pushing out of your biceps and you're like up on your shoulders. All of a sudden there's this like kind of sickening like sound as you grow 4 tentacles that grow out of your body and your arms.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And
Knock, by the way, screams like a really loud scream, but it's almost like almost not really blood curdling, but pain, but it's like.
so let me read these to both of you so you're aware of what they do.
Oh boy.
Marcoris, vestigial wings grow on the character's back. The character can fall down up to 30 feet without taking fall damage and can land on its feet. Beyond that, falling distance is reduced by 30 feet.
Wish I had that 2 seconds ago.
Knock. The character grows extra useless and deformed tentacles that sometimes move of their own accord. The character has advantage on strength ability checks. Flaw. The extra appendices become uncontrollable as per the Evdard's Black Tentacles spell, centralized on the character moving with him and with the spell save of DC 15.
Ah. Jesus.
So these arms are now like kind of like these tentacles are just kind of like moving of their own accord, and you don't really have control of them. You feel the power of these, but like you're having a hard time controlling them at the moment.
I
Wisp,
never
seem
wanted
okay?
artwork of Knock more.
I know. On fire, tentacle, Goliath.
Long tongue.
Long
He's just
tongue.
Venom now. He's just
Yeah.
fantasy Venom. Okay.
There's a sense of horror that hits you, Wisp, I would say more so than anyone, as you see like very quickly Knock is becoming one of those things that the people who were sick in the asylum turned into. Like you see familiar characteristics with this.
While I see this, what is Lure's reaction to all of this? What is her demeanor right now? What is she doing?
Lure has not become a humanoid again. She.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And unless you know where she was, if you kind of scanned around, you probably would see
She's some thick cotton.
a poof of air, cloud, mist like.
Okay.
But she's not in form right now.
Okay. I don't know where you are. I wasn't paying attention, and I kind of was in my own way. So Wisp would just kind of like, she's looking around now. You see now her whole demeanor has shifted from this stoic, trying to keep composure. This is a lot of information to panicked. And she is whipping her head around, and you see like she's got a lot of hair on her head, and you would normally not expect her to be able to move it in such sharp motions, but she's trying to like look for Laura, and she just says, "We're running out of time. We don't have time to play these games anymore. Look at him." And she's like still looking around, like trying to find you. and trying to make sense of like, all right, we're here. Let's do what we need to do and go.
Marcoris is standing on the ground with these wings. And at first he's surprised, like you see a look of confusion on his face, particularly at the pain. And then I think, and you can tell me what wings from this source would look like. You know, do they have green veins running through them? You know, or something like that? Are they feathered? What do they look like?
They are like fleshy and gorish.
Okay. He's not surprised by that.
Mm-hmm.
And he sort of looks back at them and sort of like, wait a minute. I'd like to think there's some sort of difference for him of what they usually look like.
Yeah, and you can tell me if you think there is a difference, because I still don't. I'm not super familiar with.
Yeah, well, he's never displayed this, but
right.
I think they have like veins of warpstone energy, like kind of like where like you would see like blood flow or something like that in a fleshy. So you can look at like your forearm or something like that, you know. But you see him sort of like concentrate for a moment, and like. It's like, okay, they're not. He's like trying to get them back inside his body.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't. All right. That's different.
Lure is in this cloud shape, still able to see what's going on, but unfortunately cannot communicate because she doesn't have vocal cords right now. But she does have her mental fortitude, at least for now. So she decides to go for the lure weed that's closest to her. And she's essentially, just kind of to let you know what she's going to do. She's watching them, but having just been booted down a hole, is in her own way focused to get in and get out.
Okay.
So lureweed is her number one. So that's kind of however you want this to go. That's what she's gonna be doing.
So, kind of have to go a little bit backwards, but several things kind of happen. Lore, you start going for the lureweed. Marcoris, you see a figure lying on the ground. Several figures lying on the ground that catch your attention immediately, as they're wearing a similar dress that you're very familiar with. Wisp. Humanoid, yes. Wisp. As you were saying this in Primordial.
No, I said that in common. I was speaking to... I was trying to speak to Lure.
I thought you said you spoke in Primordial.
I spoke to in Primordial when I first arrived to like the actual stone, and I was like talking to it, but when I was yelling up to whatever, I was yelling in common. Sorry, I should have made that more clear. I was yelling in common to Lore to like basically show yourself, we need to get out of here.
Okay. So all of you hear a voice at the same time. Lore recognizes it, understands it rather. Wisp, you also understand it. All it says is in this, you almost think it's Lore for a second, because it is this almost feminine, high-pitched voice, but there is a resonance and a I'm trying to think of the right word for it, but there is this, it is deep and resonant, but it also has a touch of femininity to it. And it says, rebuild. Lore, when you, in Primordial.
Okay.
Lore, when you hear this, you are sudden, there's a flash of green, and you see those men looking at you again, and then the view shifts upwards, and you see a towering figure that looks like black obsidian, kind of there are scaffoldings along this figure of obsidian stone and green emerald veins. And there are people on top. All of a sudden there's a flash of light, and you see the arm begin to move in this weird green chamber that is immense, and then it goes away.
In line with stories I've heard, in line with things that I like, echoes and memories, or is this new?
There's a very strange familiarity to it. You see some sort of machine that this being is encapsulated around. There's a hint of familiar architecture there, but it kind of eludes you. You're like, what is this? And you see the man turns towards you, and on his chest, there's a patch, and you see the bowl.
In her mind, she thinks of a name, a word. Something's just right on the edge of her mind, and she sends out this feeling of understanding, but she doesn't take form until she gets to the lureweed, whenever her mind returns to her and she's back.
While this is happening, after Wisp has heard the word rebuild again in that familiar voice, she's gonna sit. She's gonna get down into a meditative stance right in front of it. Like right in front of this giant fist that's punching its way through the earth. And she's gonna sit. She closes her eyes and she puts her hands in her very familiar place, and she's gonna lowly speak in primordial. And what she wants to do is she wants to meditate and see if she can understand through everything that's happened what rebuild means or could do. She wants to take a moment and just focus on that word and see what it presents to her, if anything at all.
Roll a wisdom saving throw. Knock, Marcoris, you guys doing anything?
Would you like to take the reins here, there, Mr. Justin?
Marcoris is, for the first few moments, walking around trying to get the balance of having these wings, because they just feel different. But then he notices Lure trying to get the weed, and so he fights through those whispers that he can't make sense of, and he starts picking Lure weed with the same thought of get in, get out, so we can fix this.
Do you approach those bodies at all?
I want to take a look at them. I don't know if I approach them. What can I tell from where I am?
How far away would you be?
I'd come within 15 feet.
Make a perception check. An 8. The only thing that you notice, that you can notice from your distance, is that they are wearing, I wouldn't say nobleman's clothes, but they're old and tattered, but very nice clothing in the fashion.
When they were new, they were fashionable.
Yeah, of Corvarians from Eberron.
Okay. And these look like people? Just like average people. They're not snarling or spitting acid at me or anything?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay, he's gonna start picking lureweed, but away from these bodies.
Quick question. I know that I don't know that we added it to the sheet. I believe the answer is yes, but I'm not sure, because there's a lot of, things. But does Lure speak fluent Primordial or understand it?
I thought yes. I thought.
Okay, I thought so too. I just don't think I added it to her sheet, so I just wanted to make sure. I double checked, which is why chat probably saw that pop up. Those are the languages she knows, and it should also include Primordial. So when she kind of lands and she's in her space, she's going to like turn into her regular form. So she'll drop gaseous form. And these thicker, big stalks. So like the lureweed that you would have seen, in the previous location was very like wimpy and small and tiny. It would be kind of like a little forest compared to like redwood or something. There's these lureweeds would have been like wild and like untamed and just thick stalks and really deep colors. And so she will immediately land and get to work on cutting as many as she can, while also just kind of glancing kind of around. She would also say to Wisp in response to her thing earlier, and she will respond in Primordial. She'll say, I'm not playing games. I wanted to make a plan. And in Primordial, she speaks very clearly.
And as you hear that voice echo, and we'll get to, I know, Derek, you wanted to do and say something, so we'll get to you after. Wisp, as you hear this voice in your head, or do you do it in her head, or do you speak to it directly to her?
I'll make a link.
Okay.
She hears it in her mind.
In your mind, you hear Lore's voice, but it is very pointed and not familiar in the way that she's been speaking, and you're immediately obviously like upset because I think of how Wisp kind of takes this.
Yep.
You also, there's a flash of green light, and you see a similar view of what I described to Lore. You see a giant being. I would say 200 feet tall, maybe more, towering. Around them is this eldritch machine that looks alien to you. Surrounding it is this pit. And instantly you recognize it, as there was a dream that you had not long ago when you followed Lorne down this cylindrical pit. It is that pit. It is the same pit. You know that there are people in clothing similar to Marcoris, same fashion. One of them says,
"We are making progress. Continue. She is almost awake."
and then the same thing, there is a flash of green light. There are screams and yells of fear and confusion, as all of a sudden there is this like almost Transformer-esque sound of when they like move, as this being begins to break free of the scaffoldings and the tethers, magical and mundane, and begins to lift up a fist, and it clenches it, and all of a sudden you hear screaming. You hear someone, the same voice, say something, but it's jumbled. You can't make it out. And all of a sudden there's a flash of light, and all of a sudden you open your eyes and you're looking at the fist as it's right in front of you.
She will open her eyes and look up at the fist, almost with this like sudden like epiphany of like energy. She just goes, in Primordial, she'll look directly at the fist and she'll whisper to it, "What were you supposed to do? What purpose did you have originally?"
And why did you not fulfill that purpose? And she's just kind of like musing. It's like more like musing out externally, but she's saying it in primordial to this fist. And she kind of, you see her compose herself. She rubs her chest. Now that you understand that there's a black hole there, basically, she rubs it. She stands up and she starts to make her way towards the party, but she keeps a cursory awareness of that fist of all times, and she can't shake what she just saw. And the recollection that it's the same pit, the fist, it's very palpable to her right now. But she tries to compose herself. You see her, like, if anybody's paying attention, she's not trying to hide it, but she's taking a deep breath. You see her roll her shoulders back, and like her posture becomes very straight once more, and she kind of makes her way to the party. But she always still has that like cursory glance towards that fist. She'll kind of assimilate back.
Okay. Knock.
So that during the time of having the tentacles shooting out of his body, there's this immense uncomfortability that comes along with it. Nock is somebody that has had, ever since taking his step foot into Vedranis, it's been a little bit of loss of control every day. So it's like either mental, and now with the physical ailments of the tongue and everything else that comes along with it, now these tentacles. So Nock is kind of with his arms crossed, and he's like feeling up his like biceps and triceps, and he keeps running into the tentacles, and in his mind it's completely flayed. And he starts walking to and fro, but then looks over towards the lureweeds and immediately asphyxiates on it. He looks at the biggest one, so I'm not sure which. Did you go to the biggest looking one, my lady? All right, so he locks eyes with that and makes his way over towards that lureweed, and if you have started cutting it, he's going. You see Nock like billowing on fire, tentacles ablaze, venom-looking motherfucker comes over and he grabs onto the lureweed, and he's going to do his best to unearth it, root and all. Okay. And that's pretty much what I've been up to, is the assessing of not only one's mind and self, but to be able to gain enough consciousness to be able to do something to, as a party, say, get in, get out. We got what we need, and this thing here is not big enough. It's way too big. It's not a beach ball this time around. So no, we are. As he does walk towards the group, though, he does look at the bodies that are over there, and does recognize the fact that they are wearing something similar to Macoris, and he will then go ahead and make his way to the lorry.
Okay. As you guys are going about collecting loreweed, lost in your thoughts and things like that, all of you hear a howl coming from above you. And you look up and you see Aiden peering down and barking and growling and howling at you, and like he's like pawing the ground. And he's not sure if he wants to jump or not.
How the pit, is it flat? Is it soft? Are there roots growing out? Does it look climbable in any way, shape, or form?
Sheer? Is it?
It's not sheer.
Satin.
It's very rough. It looks like dirt. So to explain it to you, it looks like the impact was created by the fist.
Okay. As soon as I turn to look at Aiden, I will try to find a spot on the wall approximately 60 feet up that looks like I could latch onto it, and I would like to shadow step to that point, and then I want to see if I can climb the rest of the 60 feet to get to him as fast as possible.
Yeah, so you shadow step, and then all of a sudden, as he starts whimpering, as all of you begin to hear this like echoing, there are several noises coming from the two tunnels that are kind of in the area, and then behind you, as all of a sudden there are figures that begin to make their way out of these tunnels. You all look up and you see these humanoid figures. You see figures that knock, wisp. All of you have seen in one way or another. You see these humanoid figures. Their skin is pulled, stretched tight to their bones. They have sharp claws. Their tongues are lolling out. They're just these gross, pink, fleshy figures, and they have these tentacles that are erupting from their back. And you see at least 4 at the moment. And all of a sudden, as you guys are grabbing the lure weed, and Wisp, you have shadow stepped 60 feet above to a little outcropping that you're holding on to. They all start running at you guys. And that is where we're gonna end for tonight.
You didn't just give me my worst skinwalker nightmare ever. That's terrifying. They all just break out in a sprint. They're like, "Wah!" Like,
Yeah.
I hate it.
Full sprint.
I hate it.
Thanks, guys.
We do it for the lore weed.
Hey guys, I do it for the lore weed. This is for the lore. Also, everybody have fun sleeping tonight.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Enjoy your dreams.
I mean,
Enjoy
I
your
wasn't
dreams.
expecting everybody to just like Superman, like superhero landing, jump into the pit.
First of all, Danae definitely went ahead and started a trend. She kind of nailed that whole landing. All right, I want to make that very clear. That was impressive.
dope.
I was really hoping, like, as soon as I was like, and then Knock's mind, I'm like, Knock, what are you gonna do? There's a big hole. It's pretty deep. It's like, honestly, at this point, I've been running around in through these woods to and fro. She says that she's never been down there, but why not? Well, you're gonna go down there first.
There you go.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
gonna make her decision making really interesting from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
To have a nice big boot print on her hiney.
Oh my lord.
Oh goodness.
Oh, what a fun game! That was a really fun one.
Indeed.
I'm so glad I didn't fully prep for what was happening. You guys circumvented a whole other thing.
Oh yeah.
That I
Did we
had planned.
really?
Yeah. And so like, well, because if you hadn't convinced Strahd, he would have sent you somewhere else. That might be for another time to talk about, maybe a little bit later.
Ooh.
The one-shot Strahd adventure extravaganza.
Yeah, or the
The
ask
Lost City of
questions
Vedranis
to
Christmas
the-
special.
Yeah. Or,
Jolly old Saint Strahd.
Jolly old Saint Strahd.
Big bad daddy vamp is I think is what
Big
they call it.
Yes.
Big bad
Tell me what you want for
Santa
Christmas.
Daddy Vamp. Big
One,
bad Santa Daddy
two.
Vamp.
What am I going to put in your stocking?
Oh, God. I love Lady
goodness.
Lore. I love being able
I
to see this
am
like sassy,
Absolutely
very
in love
like
with lore, and
yeah, like I love this. I love this kind of like, well, you did this and good luck now. Like sort of like half attitude. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, right now, a behind the scenes little moment into lore. She's looking at this tank of a beast of a man going, well, that's our meat shield. Do I heal him or do I let him die?
I might end up eating you first, though, unfortunately. Oh, I got tentacles and shit.
Yeah.
and here come all your cousins too.
No,
I know, right? Another
Extended
day.
family.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
All of our extended family.
It's the
I will-
worst Christmas party ever.
Can I say how funny it is that Marcourse ended up with wings
that's
for several reasons?
that seems like,
Like
a
one of them
really
being is like, oh, that's how I
backstory
get out of
thing.
this pit. It is, and that hasn't.
Well,
come out
I
yet.
don't think anybody knows truly why
No.
That's-
I mean, we can all figure it out that Marcoris
Drax.
isn't human.
It's Drax.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Yeah.
But it just hasn't come out in story yet.
That's so cool. I love when the randomness and the dice rolls support story in a really unexpected way.
Mhm.
It's
Yep.
one of my favorite parts of D&D.
Yep.
Is
Well, also,
that
it's like you fall into a pit. Here's some wings. Oh, okay.
yeah, which
yeah.
would that have happened if they planned everything and went in this way? We'll never know. But I will tell you, Cole, if this had gone 60 seconds longer, she was going to cast a spell. So I will
Or in the
ask if I
holster.
can do like a quick touch spell before combat next time. So just prepare yourself. I'm going to ask that question.
Okay.
gonna ask
We'll
you.
see what happens. It was so fun because obviously I know we're talking a little bit about this a little bit longer than we usually do, but I think tonight was like a very important episode. I think a lot of things have been
So many
started
lore
to get
drops.
revealed.
Yeah.
gosh,
So many
yeah.
lore drops.
And it was
God.
really fun to kind of work with Danae on this because we were kind of talking back and forth about this sort of thing. And the image I got, at least when we kind of thought about the pit with the fist, is I got Prometheus vibes,
Yes.
like alien vibes.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. I'm so glad you
And-
said that.
Yep. So
Yeah.
that's like just that head.
The head.
in the-
Yeah.
So that's
But it's a
like I
fist,
even
though.
sent like the art to Danae. I'm like, this
But,
is
like,
what I'm going for.
And so, and now because I had the vision that Lore had, and now I have that understanding, which is kind of funny that I really liked that you spoke to me right before I had that meditative vision, because I feel like that link was what I
Mm.
needed to get that extra, because I rolled really low on my wisdom save. So like it just in my head canon, you speaking through me kind of affected what I saw, and I saw what you saw.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
really liked that. I liked that moment, Cole. That was very cool. That was very cool.
It's
So
also
thank you for that.
it's also really cool because when I did your guys' little dream sequences that you like little visions that all of you got, those were pretty much improv, and I just kind of decided on who might see what. And so it was just happenstance that you saw what you saw.
I did.
And that you
And I
happen
have
to
it
and that you
all.
happen to do the wisdom saving throw and then see that, like just being able to get like naturally and organically, like you were able to get those pieces was so
Yeah,
So
that's
good.
huge. And there's so much too. I got the book. Got to rip open that book. Got to figure out what's going on.
But that's a big book
How-
for a very certain someone too. So
Mm.
Yeah, this is super, super fun. Thanks for inviting me
I
along
love
with your adventures.
yeah.
And Nate, do we only have you for one more week?
I think we're gonna do like a little story arc. So I think the original idea was to do like a 3-episode run, but I'm working with Cole. So if there's something that happens where it needs to go an extra, it's not like I'm gonna be like, no.
So long, suckers.
I don't like it. I'm having a blast. So,
Yeah.
but yes,
So-
this will just be my little pop in and pop out of your world, which is why I can be booted down a hole.
and why Strahd can say he can make you his vampire thrall.
Which
Um,
Marcoris was kind of on the fence about. Marcoris was like, hey, maybe.
yeah, true.
He likes power.
God.
It does. That was so fun. That was so fun. Like your
That was
reaction to
cool.
Strahd, like, Master.
Uh-huh.
Oh my
And Laura's
goodness.
like-
All right, Vampire Daddy.
Wait.
Yeah.
And I like that you now
Right.
know you can't see Biddy for sure, because that wasn't exactly clear last episode. You
it
didn't
was
ask that
kind of
question.
it was kind of clear because I
Mhm.
remember you asked if anybody could see Biddy, and it was no, but like I was so far behind you in that scene, so I didn't even
Mhm.
think to ask because it wasn't relevant. So now that like we see you interacting with something weird and you went to go talk to the pot and everything, I'm like, what the fuck is going
And I
on?
also like that.
Like, do we see this or like?
I also like that it took Marcoris just a little bit to realize, oh, she's Kalashtar.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. When
After the mind link,
Yeah.
I was sold on it.
the last episode when I was getting clarification was the Warforged is something that she's seen, kind of in her environment a lot. But I wasn't sure if Cole was referencing that my friend was the Warforged, that was kind of
Right,
I
that
don't
you
know
were
if it
talking to.
deactivated or whatever, and just kind of frozen in time, or if it was my other friend. And so getting clarification was a nice clue. But I'm really glad that question was asked this time, because it's kind of a fun thing about lore that we wrote into what makes her odd and unique. So it's kind of fun to have that.
I adore her so much.
Very cool.
Thanks, guys.
I love it. I love all the little like character development through everybody, but I like finding out more about your character and like
I love
your
your
switch
guys'
of
characters
personality.
too. Like the
oh,
hole in your chest.
mhm.
That's
Oh
so
my
exciting.
gosh.
That's so
That
cool.
was intense.
I've
That's
been waiting. I didn't even tell Cole.
No.
I was waiting for that to organically come up in game, and like
so cool.
her rationalizing was like, I don't know if I can die. If this is an instance where somebody has to sacrifice themselves, I'd rather figure it out this way and save people, or I'd rather sacrifice myself and find out if I ever could have my soul back.
Wow.
That was what she was thinking. Because
so cool.
after the conversation with Nock, where Nock is like, she's like, I don't have a soul, so I don't know what you saw. She's been thinking a lot about that. And I've been doing like journaling. I journaled like after the other one about like how she would feel about finding that out. And now she's kind of like set up on this path of like, okay, maybe I just need to start testing things to figure out what this is. And that was her being like, all right, this is a drastic test, but like, I need to, like, we need answers. We need to get somewhere. We need this stuff now. Nock's worse than I am. He's going to die. So it was one of those things where she was just like, I'm going to do this. I don't care what happens. We'll figure it out. And if I die, I die. And if I live, I live.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of like her immediate rationalization. She was like, something needs to get done. Somebody needs to do it. I don't know if I'll survive or die, but I'm probably the best chance of figuring out what's going to happen with it.
Oh,
So yeah, I was so stoked that I finally got to show it to you guys. That was fun.
Amazing.
That was really cool.
So good.
Huge. Lots of stuff.
Yep.
Oh.
Well,
Huge.
goodness. Well, thank you everybody so much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for all the follows and the sub. We appreciate you guys so much. We love being able to share this story with you, because it's finally kind of very quickly actually starting to make sense and seeing like where this story might go. And so, I was talking about it before the game actually started, that I've kind of got an actual idea now. Because when I went into it, I was kind of like, I haven't like a premise, but I don't know like where the story is going to take us. But now I'm like really like, oh, this is really cool. This is happening. This is happening. This is happening. This is happening. To where things like a lot of the questions that you guys have had for so long are finally getting kind of revealed and all this stuff. So thank you everybody for, sticking along with us. If you haven't followed, you can always follow us or sub if you really want to. We also have a YouTube and a Discord, which Justin has just posted in the for the Discord.
Yeah.
If you're new and you want to watch kind of from the beginning, I know it's a lot. 25 episodes is a lot to kind of catch up on, but I'm a little biased. But
the holidays are coming.
Yeah,
That's right.
Indoors and just watch the entire Vedranis.
Just binge it all.
Just binge watch it.
all.
Yeah.
We know you all watch Squid Game in like 2 days. Come on.
This is like totally the
Right?
same length as that,
100%.
right? Like,
It doesn't matter. We know we got the binging potential over here. All right.
Just think about it this way. You're watching Lord of the Rings, all right? You're watching the entire thing and the credits and the bonus features every time, and you know for a fact that you love that shit. So you're definitely going to go ahead and love watching all this. Add a personality on top of that length. It's going to be fucking fantastic.
you only have to watch 75 hours.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, commitment.
Just quick little thing. Yeah, it's all good.
100%.
Anyway, let's go around and talk to the cast. Let us know what you're up to this week, what you have coming up, all that stuff. Let's just go clockwise from me. So, Danae, let's start with you.
You can find me on Twitch at Danae Says, DENEESAYS. I have been on a RP hiatus for the last few weeks. So the content that you can find on my VODs is a morning show that I do on Mondays with my radio partner and creative partner, Aaron Dicer. One of the cool things we do is help people launch podcasts. So we have a lot of experience in creating shows and helping people kind of put together their project management mind for the whole world of podcasting. And so we started a little studio DNA kind of thing, DNA being Danae and Aaron. And we kind of use our radio experience and our podcasting experience to help other people. That's kind of the origin of that. And one of the shows we've done for a long, long time as a podcast / our kind of new invention of us still having a chance to do a radio show, since we're not in radio any longer. We used to do a morning show every morning, like terrestrial radio. You flip the dial. We would have been your morning show for 4 hours every morning. We did that for a long time. And so now we just kind of get together every Monday at 9 Central and do a little bit of just a fun chat back and forth. And you can catch those VODs on my Twitch feed. That's what you will see immediately. And if you go back in time, you'll see some of my RP stuff as well. But that's what I'll plug for today.
Amazing. Derek, what are you up to? Where can we find you?
Where you can find me on atop Derek Mountain. That's ATOP Derek Mountain, where you will find me playing games and doing geek shit and stuff. And what will I be doing for the rest of the week? Going ahead and playing Wild RP, playing my cowboy life, aka my Chinese immigrant life. And oh my god, this is so much goddamn fun. So much fun. The amount of the research and everything that's being put into this has been able to play a character to a certain accuracy that's been very rewarding, not only storytelling wise, but as well as encouraging also other people to make Chinese characters, which is actually very interesting. So like there's like a influx of Chinese characters coming into the server, and it's really, really interesting. So I'm really excited to see where that's going to go. But you can find me there on Wild RP on Twitch, where I stream at least about 4 to 5 days out of the week, if not more. And you can also find me on Twitter, and I upload to YouTube pretty regularly, more often now than I was before. So if you want some content of the variety of makeup, you know where to find me.
Oh yeah. Ray, where can we find you? What are you up to?
Oh, hey, I'm Ray, or with a brick with 2 Ks everywhere on the interwebs. You can find me over on my Twitch channel by the same name. I kind of am very sparse with my streaming. It's just kind of whenever I feel like it at the moment while I get my life together. But I do a lot of roleplay right now. I'm on a 5M server called LS1975, which is Los Santos based in the era of the 70s. So if you're into 70s roleplay, if you're into some drama sort of stuff that might be going on, come and watch me there. I will be over on the initiative order this Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern for a game of Morkborg that I'm running for St. Jude's. All the proceeds of that weekend of gaming will go to St. Jude's. So if you're interested in holiday games and some horror and some spooky shit and want to see me do some really interesting accents, come see me on Sunday. I'll have all that stuff on my Twitch and my Twitter and all of that. So come find me.
Hell yeah. I'm so excited. I know you've been plugging it for like a few weeks now, and I'm
so excited.
I just wrote it down in my notebook.
I'm like very close to buttoning up some of the things that I've been writing for it. And I did one of the little like hee chuckles today because I put something really kind of fun. Did you touch your fingers? I did like the whole like thing because an idea popped in my head. I was like, I can throw that in there real quick. And I just like made it work for Morkborg, and I'm really excited. It's been my favorite system for a really long time, for the last couple of years now. So it's been fun. I'm excited to run it.
Hell yeah. Last and certainly not least.
And least.
Justin, no, stop. None of that.
Edit it out.
Hi, I'm Doc Rimbo. I'm Doc Rimbo here on Twitch. I'm Doc Rimbo on Twitter, where I do streaming like Derek and of several other people of the roleplay variety on the Wild RP server. Currently, all my time pretty much is spent being Sheriff Jonah Harper, and who is sort of living out the story that's happening in his little bubble right now, which is really good. And I've been on quite a bit, and it's been really terrific. We've had a great couple of weeks down in Rhodes, and so I can hope you could stop by and see that. I am here every Thursday night, of course, and starting on January 17th. Is our season 2 here on InfiniteRP of our Flames of Freedom campaign called the Tamara Society. And it's basically 1776 Gothic horror. So American Revolution plus the X-Files plus zombies. And it is a fantastic cast. I'm really excited. I've been, like Ray, I've been tenting my fingers and dreaming up things to throw at the cast this season. And I'm really looking forward to getting back to that as well. But I look forward to being here next week with my favorite GM, Cole. That's a segue.
Stop.
Cole.
My name is Cole. Or Lookin RP. You can find me at Lookin RP on Twitch and Twitter. Neither of which I'm extremely active on. But you can find me here every Thursday, mostly every Thursday, running this wonderful campaign for these wonderful human beings, telling this crazy ass story. That's just an amalgamation of. It's like the Spider-Verse of D&D. It's kind of turning into that. But I'm so happy. I love being able to run this game with these wonderful people. But we will see you guys very, very soon. Please stay tuned. After the credits, we're going to be rating TTRP Theater. So make sure to give them some love and some support. And we will see you guys so soon. Thank you again. We love you. Stay safe, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bless up.